Good morning. Today we will see how to take user input in Python. For that we should know the basic concepts of Python. Unlike C, C++, Java, we don't specify the data type with variable. We directly write the variables and assign value to it. Python automatically recognizes the value that is assigned to variable, but we use double single colon for strings. Now let's do some questions related to this basic concept. Assume a variable a and we assign value 10 to it. Now we will check its data type. Now let's start. A is our variable and we have assigned a value 10 to it. Then we will write type of a. Unlike C, C++, Java, we don't write here int or boolean or string that we write like float or something else, but we directly write a in Python and we will type a here. Now we will run our input. Here we got the output int, means our a is 10, is a integer. Now we will change 10 to, now we will convert 10 into 10.2. Now we will see what its type. Amazing, we got float. That means the 10.2 is a float number. We can also store boolean value into a variable. For example, let's write here true. In Python, we have to write capital letter, first capital letter in true, means T should be capital for a boolean expression. And now we will run it. We got bool. And if we try with false, amazing, we got bool. This means our data type is boolean here in this case. Now we will check for strings. If we write here something like I say sun, oh, we got an error. This means that there should be colon before and after the string. And this is the rule that we, whenever we are using string, assigning a string to a variable, we will put it in double colon or single colon. Bingo, it's a string. Now, before concluding the video, let's have discussion on user input. To take user input, we will using input function. Here is this input function. But as we know, we have to store the value in some variable, so we will write a is equals to input. Then we will write some quotation in this input such that whenever user input, we run the user input, we get a statement written before we enter the some value, like we say enter your name, name, or we say age, enter your age. When we will run, we got an interface which is asking enter your age. If I will enter 5, we will get an error. We have got some issue. There is an issue with it, that is whenever we will do such thing, like we will use input enter your age, and as for example I have entered 5, enter your age equal to 5. That means we have the Python has concatenated these statements, because by default whenever we use input function, it takes our input as a string. To show you the output, I will use here type of function that is used in A. Means what is the type of A? Let's check it. Like I have entered here 5, bingo, we got here string. This means that by default the value of input, the Python takes string, stores string in its database. To convert string into integer, we will use here int. That means we are converting our input, that is by default string, into integer. Now if we will write here 5, we got integer. So always remember, by default input function takes string value. You write either numerical number or anything, it will store it as a string. It will store it as a string. Then we have to convert it into integer, because integer function is used later in our program or something else. So we will use here input to convert our string into integer. We can also use here float to convert our string into float. Like I write here 5, it's float. Or we can say 5.10, 5.10, 5.5, it's a float. The amazing thing in Python is that you can also convert integer to string and string to integer. Similarly, integer to float and float to integer. Like for example, I use here a next variable, like say b, and we use input function to take our input, and as we know will become it will come default as a string, so we will convert it into float. Then we will print b, we will get 5.0. That means the input which was string is converted into float, and we got 5.0. So, not extending the duration of today's lecture, let's meet in our next video in which we talk about some other basic rules of Python. Thank you.